guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Emily and today we're starting round 1, episode 2 of Beat the Board. I don't have a lot to say for the beginning of this. We're going to continue off where I left in round 1, episode 1. And yeah, that's all I have to say, so let's jump right into the board. Okay, so this is what the board looks like since the last episode. We obviously had these 5 books. We did not make it very far. I'm hoping we make it farther than we did last time, but I know we will be coming up to this go back, so let's hope we don't land on this one because I want to make forward progress, not backwards progress. So I'm going to do my first roll of this vlog, and let's hope it's a good one. We have random letter, family pick, a new author, a sci-fi, a yearly TBR, or a mood read. Honestly, I could go for any of them, but if I had to pick any of them, I'd probably say the sci-fi or the ghost right now, maybe even family pick and maybe random letter depending on the letter. So I'm not mad. Like, I could read something new too, but like I really want to get to the next Dungeon Crawler Carl book because I don't want to put that off too long. But let's see. Roll number 1 of the video. Okay, we got a 4. So 1, sorry, I'm trying to do it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So sci-fi. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to be picking the 5th Dungeon Crawler Carl book, which is, I will put a picture right up here because I can't remember the title of it. But I'm really excited. This one is a bigger, chunky book, so it's going to take me a little bit of time. I keep saying that about some of them, but yeah, anyway, I'm rambling. So I'm going to get right into that book, and I will chat with you guys again soon. I promise I do other things other than sit on my bed and film clips, but this is like the easiest place. Anyway, I did start the Dungeon Crawler Carl book. It is the Butcher's Masquerade. I ended up getting 30% of the way in. This is a 700-page book, so I think I got about 200 pages in. I definitely am not going to be finishing this today. I'm hoping to get another good chunk through. I don't like to read these too quick because they are pretty heavy on the information that you're constantly giving, and I like to spread them out a little bit. So I was thinking that maybe I should roll for my next book and see what it gives me, so that I have something else going on, so that I'm not like speeding through this book because, like I said, there's just a lot going on, and I really don't want to like overdo it because it's a lot of information half the time. But we're following Carl and Princess Donut, Queen Anne Chunk, and they end up in the alien apocalypse pretty much for their planet, and they are given some options on whether they can stay and try and survive on the Earth, or they can enter these light things that send them down into this game, essentially, which is the dungeon crawl game. And that is what they do, and we are following them as each level, because I think there's 18 levels. Maybe I don't remember how many levels are. There's a lot of levels. Okay, in the first book we follow the first 2 levels, and then each book after that has just been focused on the next level, and it's pretty good, pretty interesting. There are a few times I get confused because, like I said, there is a lot of information. This is like a level up kind of story. They have to practice doing their skills so they get leveled up and they're more powerful with these skills and stuff. They get all kinds of different equipment, and they've get quests and all kinds of stuff. And in the meantime, they're just trying to survive. And it is very funny. It's kind of sad, and it is frustrating because, you know, they're just trying to survive, but everyone else like are like, oh, it's a game, we're so excited, and they're like, are you serious? Anyway, I love this series. I have yet to give any of the books 5 stars. The second one so far has been my favorite, but this one is kind of like leading up towards that, so I'm just having a great time. What was I going with this? Oh, I'm trying to decide now if I want to do my next role and have something else I can be working on, because like I said, I just don't want to like burn through this book, but at the same time I'm trying to complete books for readathons, and I want to make sure I'm still moving along with the books. So I might, I don't know. See, I feel like with this game, you have to finish the book before you can move on. Like, that's just been what I've been doing. So, you know what? I'm gonna see what happens today and see how far I can get into this book. And then I'll either come back later and do another role, or you'll see me tomorrow and we'll talk about it again. But I just wanted to come in and update you guys, and yeah, that's it. I'm going to be journaling and reading, and that's pretty much what I'm doing today. Okay, so I don't know how I did it, but I finished Dungeon Crawler Carl today. It's the 5th, and I am finally giving one of these 5 stars. I still really like the second one. It's right up here. I feel like I should have gave the second one 5 stars, but this one just had so much going on. This is The Butcher's Masquerade. This is the 5th one. And the ending really got to me. So, wow, just a lot happened at the end of that book. And the audiobooks are the way to go with this series. Absolutely. It just ups the whole experience. It makes it even better. And at the end, like when you get through the last chapter, I'm not sure if it's for all of them, but like the later ones, there's like a little bit at the end, and it's like a snippet that you don't get in like the actual book. At least I don't think, at least on the Kindle books, but it'll give you like a snippet of something that happened like during that we didn't get to see. And this one was so good. It had Donut singing, and it was just so wholesome and I loved it. But that means it is time to figure out what the next pick is gonna be. Now, I will either be getting a book off my yearly TBR, a mood read, an emoji, random emoji, a 500 plus page book, a graphic novel, or a fantasy romance. So I can go with like any of these. I'm kind of not wanting yearly TBR though. Like, if I get it, fine, but like, I want to pick something else. So I'm going to be doing that. I am counting The Butcher's Masquerade towards, I think it's The Bar. Whichever one is for the Orange Cat Cruise, the Escape the Readathon. Whichever one it is for a genre blend, because this one's fantasy, sci-fi, dystopian, so I figured it would be perfect for that. And we did make it out of our theater game for hide and seek, so hooray. And we are supposed to be working on gym and spa now, but I've already put one in for that, and I put one in for pool. Now I'm having one, I believe it's for bar. So I am making good progress, and I am ready to see what I'm going to be focusing on tomorrow. So we're going to look right at the board game now, and we're going to figure that out together. Okay, so I have finished the first book for episode 2. Now we need to move on and find out what the second book I'm going to be reading is. I really would like anything other than a 1, because I really want more of an option than yearly TBR. So anything but a 1. Let's see what I get. A 6. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fantasy romance. Hey guys, it is now May 7th. I know I didn't check in yesterday. I had a lot going on family-wise with my grandma. And if you know, then, well, stuff keeps happening every day. So yesterday was just a big day I needed to spend family-wise. So I apologize for no check-in, but I have not read anything since yesterday. But I wanted to let you guys know for fantasy romance, I ended up going with Heart of Chaos by Madeline Elliott. I've read another book by this author and I really enjoyed it. This one reminds me of like Fourth Wing a little bit, and I want to say Tessa Hale, her books. I could be wrong. She wrote the Twilight of Embers or whatever. books and a bunch of other stuff, but her stuff's like really binge worthy and easy to get into, and like it's not like high fantasy and everything. So anyway, this one, what can I say about this one? So this one I got 58% of the way in, and I am reading it with my eyeballs. This came out on May 1st, and we are following Isa and Arik, I think is how we say his name, but Arik is a Drage, I can't remember how to pronounce it. It's very like Norse mythology, embroiledness, whatever. I don't even know if that's a word, but we're going with it. So he is sent out with another person, and they are looking for Chaosborn, because Chaosborn are the only ones that can bond with the dragons that are coming through this rift. And they are getting fewer and fewer each year, and even then some of them don't bond with dragons, or some of them don't make it through the rifting. So he ends up stumbling upon Isa, and she is indentured to this awful guy at this tavern, and he ends up helping her and buying out her indentured servitude, whatever, that she was supposed to be working for this awful guy. And he brings her back to where all the dragon people are, and they are trying to prepare her for the rifting. Now, obviously there's a lot more going on, but I feel like if I say any more, it could be like spoilery. And this one you really just like have to go in with like the vague synopsis and figure it out on the way. But I will say this one's feeling like a 3.75 4-star read. I feel like it's a very quick read, and I like the characters, but I almost feel like there's not like a whole lot of like substance I mean, that's not the word I want to use. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Give me a second. I need to compose myself. So I don't feel like I am connected to the characters like I find myself in like my 5-star reads. I feel like a lot of stuff is happening quickly, and it's not being fleshed out as much as it could. So like the training stuff, I feel like we could be doing more with it, but like honestly we're just like skimming over it, and it's just focusing mainly on like the romance, and even then the romance doesn't completely feel 100% like it should, because it almost feels kind of insta love. And I don't know, I'm kind of sad that I'm not loving this as much as I want to be, but I'm still enjoying myself. So I made it to the part where the rifting happens, and I have just finished reading about that and stuff that's come with that, and it was starting to get good. So I'm hoping like the end part really builds more on like the world, the magic, the training, the dragons. Like I really enjoy the dragons in here, because they talk through the minds of the people that they're bonded with. So I don't know, I'm just hoping that more happens with this book. So like I said, if you like Fourth Wing, if you like Tessa Hale, I think it's Tessa Hale, I don't know why I feel like that's not right, but I think it is right. If you like those like combined, and like I don't know, it has like the idea of like Fourth Wing almost, but it's like taking the easy way out, like a quick romance read like Tessa Hale's. But hers are like better than this a little bit, because there's like more fleshed out there, and we're more character growing than we are in Heart of Chaos. So I think that's everything I want to say. I've been talking for like 5 minutes now, so I think I need to cut it off here. But my goal today was to finish this book. Will I? I'm not sure, because I slept in, and thankfully my mom took the kids to school today, but I was just so tired yesterday, mentally exhausted after dealing with my grandma, so I needed to sleep, and I slept till 1 o'clock. I think it's probably getting close to like 1:45, 2 o'clock, and I have to go pick up the kids soon. So I'm not sure if I will finish this book or not. I only have like 13 chapters left, but they are longer chapters. So I guess I will either update you guys later, or I'll be staying up late maybe to finish this book so I can move on to my third rule of this episode. And yeah, so I will check in with you guys later. Okay, so I finished Heart of Chaos by Madeline Elliott. I was very let down by this. The second half, I was so close to DNFing this book, but I wanted to be able to count it for Escape the Readathon, so I finished it, and I gave it a 3.25. I feel like that's a bit generous for this book, but the idea of it was just so good, and I feel like this was, it almost felt like the bare bones of like an outline, and I just wish the author would have spent more time with the story because it could have been so good. Even though it was like almost 400 pages, if she would have just added like another 100, 200 pages into it and really worked on the character dynamics, the plot, even like the world building, the magic, like the training sequences and stuff, if she would have just built it up a little bit more to make it more believable, to make their actions and their feelings reflect what we would have read in the story, this could have been so good. And I am just so frustrated and angry and let down, and the more I keep thinking about it, the more I'm like, I should have rated this like a 2.5 star because I'm so angry. But it wasn't that bad, but it just needed so much more, and I feel like the author got tired of it or whatever and just was like, here we go, this works, this is perfect, like whatever. I'm just so frustrated. Obviously I can't speak for the author, but like that's what I'm taking away from this. So unfortunately that was a very big letdown. This was one of my most anticipated books of the year, and it fell flat on its face. But that means that it is time to roll for our third role. Also, for Team Detectives, we did open up the mini game for Gym and Spa, and I'm so frustrated with this game because there are 4 different prompts, and only 2 of them are going to help unlock, and obviously we have no idea. So I counted Heart of Chaos for, I think it's the 3rd prompt, a book that's a different genre from the last one you read, and the last one I read was The Butcher's Masquerade, which is like fantasy, sci-fi, dystopia, and Heart of Chaos is a fantasy romance. So I used that one for that, so I have 3 prompts left to help with that, because Heart of Chaos was going to go towards arcade, but I figured since there's 4 prompts, I should probably just go and put it towards that. So that is what I did. I have to reconfigure my little graphics because I only had enough for like 2 prompts for each game, and clearly that was not like a set in stone thing. So now I have to reconfigure that, and I need to figure out what I'm reading next. And I'm stressed because this book, it's like a fun stress. So I'm stressed a little bit because I want the book to fit one of the 3 other prompts. So one of them is a 4-word title. Another one is a cover with a color you dislike. And the other one has no people on the cover. So I have a couple things that I could go for. The 4-word title, I was having a hard time because a lot of the books on my list didn't fit that. And the one that I really want to read that did fit that was my book club book, which, by the way, if you haven't heard, I did end up changing it from Heartless Heathens because Heartless Heathens has a very interesting trigger warning list, and I just felt like for my book club that probably wasn't the best to go for. So I switched it to What Happened to Nina. This is a mystery thriller, and but that is the one that has 4 words in the title, but it also has the color on the cover that I dislike. So like brown, because I don't know, like I don't hate the cover, but like brown's like my least favorite color, except for like chocolate, obviously. But so I want to use that one potentially for the color. And then I'm looking at my shelves because there's a book right there. It would be a reread, but I've never like continued on in the series, and it's Her Soul to Take by Harley LaRue. And I have the audiobook for that, and it's a reread, so it would go by quicker. and I really loved that book. I gave it 5 stars. So I'm playing around with that. And then the No People on the cover, I am not sure about that one right now. I'm kind of just like flying by the seat of my pants at this point because all my plans have just gone out the window with these prompts for the minigame hanging by a thread. So yeah, I'm feeling a little stressed, but it's like a good kind of stress, so don't worry guys. But yeah, so we're gonna look at the board and we're gonna roll. The spots on the board that I could get are a go back, which that's one, and then the double. This was hard to do with one hand holding the tripod and the other holding this, but anyway, so we could either get a go back, weapon on the cover, an intimidating read, a physical read, a dark romance, or steal a book. So I don't really want a 1 because I really don't want to go backwards. The goal is to go forward. But I wouldn't be mad because there are some going back that I would be okay with. The intimidating would be okay, maybe. I really don't want to do a physical book, but like I said, if I do, I can do Her Soul to Take. I mean, honestly, they all would be okay. But I want to say, before I do any rolling, I just want to say that if I hit this go back spot, any spots that have the book covers on them, I'm going to skip over. So if I have to go back like 4, it's going to start 1, 2, 3, 4. So I don't want to keep getting like the same prompts over and over again. And I think this would add like a level of fun to like go back but not count the spots we've already got. I don't know. Hopefully that made sense. But we're going to get right to it now because I've been talking for way too long. Okay, so here we are for book number 3 for episode 2 of round 1. So I can either get the go back, the weapon on the cover, intimidating, physical read, dark romance, or steal a book. And remember, I said if we land on the go back, we're going to skip any ones that have the book covers on them. So it would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's just hope for the best. Like I said, I want to be going forward, not backwards. So let's roll and hope I can get something to fit one of these prompts for this game. A 1. Of course we did. Of course we're going back. So how many are we going back? What's it say? A 2. Ugh, you've got to be kidding me. 1, 2. We landed on Piggy Piggy, the cute little piggy, but that means it has to be a 500+ page book. And if you can't tell, I'm already regretting this game a little bit. That's okay though. We'll figure it out. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna make it work. Everything's gonna be okay. Everything is fine. Where's that little this is fine guy with the room on fire? That's what we need right now. Okay guys, so I think it's almost midnight on May 8th, and I wanted to come and update you because I never told you guys what I was picking for the 500+ pages for the Piggy Piggy prompt on the board, and I ended up going with Direbound by Sable Sorensen, and I am enjoying this so much, but I have to read it with my eyeballs, and it's taken me a while. And today was another day of helping my grandma, so I got a late start trying to read this book, but I will say last night I only got 7% of the way in, and I'm ending my night with 48% of the way into this book, so not too bad. I think I have like 300 and something pages left of the book, but we're persevering, and I'm enjoying it. There's something on my shirt. It's bothering me. Whatever. Anyway, so what can I tell you about this book? In this book, we're following Marin, and she lives in what I would call the slums of this fantasy world. And along with her duties during the day of like working the laundry, at night, I think it's at night, she goes to these fights and fights against people and wins the bet. It's like betting or whatever, but she ends up winning because she needs the money to help her family because she is quite literally taking care of her mother who is mentally ill and she needs this medicine, and it's not cheap. And then she's taking care of her younger sister, and you know, she has to make sure they have money for their house and money for food, and her sister needs money to go to this higher up school because her sister excels really well in school and they wanted her to go to a higher up school. And then of course the mother's medicine. So, you know, she's trying really hard. She even dropped out of school so that she could take care of her family because her father died in this war. And we find out that kids have been disappearing in her town, whatever you want to call it, or her part of like the place where she lives. Anyway, and they're calling them the Nabbers, and it's kind of like what the kids have called them. It's kind of like a boogeyman story, but it's like actually happening, and she's trying very hard to keep this from happening, but there's only so much she can do, and everything is going like normal until the night her sister is taken right out of her bed, and she is just so distraught. She is so upset. She's thinking it's her fault because she was with this guy that she's been pretty much dating for a year, and she thinks she should have been there. This is her fault, and she ends up enlisting in the military. And what she doesn't know upon enlisting is that this year is going to be a bonding year, and that means that people that are enlisting in this army have to all go up this mountain and either die trying or bond with a dire wolf. And if you don't, then you go back and you go like to the army, to the front where she wants to be, because she wants to go get her sister who was taken by the Nabbers, who are the Siphons, who the kingdom is at war with. Anyway, needless to say, things don't go to plan, and like the title says, she ends up bonded to a dire wolf, and it kind of goes from there, and everything has changed. And I'm not gonna lie, I like to go to the end every once in a while. Like, I just like to read the last sentence, and I spoiled myself majorly. And I am so shooketh at what I saw. I was like, oh no, I gotta go back. I can't look at this. I can't think about this too long, but it's there. It's there in my mind, and I know something's happening. And while I don't know 100% like what all's going on with it, I know. And I'm like, oh my God, what did I just read? And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put this down tonight. I'm gonna try and forget about what I just read. Not gonna happen, obviously. And we'll come back to it tomorrow. Now, I have been like really pushing myself to like bash these books out and read them. And I was doing really good. I had like 7 books in 7 days. And I'm kind of running out at that point because I don't have the audiobook. This doesn't have an audiobook yet. And I want reading to be fun and enjoyable, and I don't want it to be like a competition, which is what I am almost turning it into. So I am trying to enjoy what I'm reading. I don't think I will be finishing this book tomorrow. So most likely, hopefully Saturday, and then we'll roll for number 4. But I really don't want to say any more about this book. So I probably won't check in until then, because I feel like this is one of those books, like, you just have to go in knowing, like, the bare minimum with the synopsis and just enjoying the ride. Because, like, the first little bit, like, I was like, like, is this what I want to be reading? But then the further in I got, I was, like, hooked. I was getting hooked. I'm like, oh, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? I really enjoy the characters. The writing's easy to get into. And this is what I wish Heart of Chaos would have been. I wanted to be invested in that book like I am invested in this book. This book definitely deserves the hype. I am so shooketh by that last sentence, and I don't know how to feel. I'm just shooketh, and I'm kind of mad at myself that I did that, because I usually I haven't done it in a long time, but today I was like, you know what? It's a long book. I'm almost halfway through. Let's just read the last line. Normally it doesn't give me anything spoilery. Mistake. Big mistake. Oh my gosh, I'm just reeling, and I haven't even gotten to like what the heck's going on. So I wanted to come in and update you guys and let you know that I am enjoying my pick for the 500+ page pick, but it's 600 and something pages, I think, almost 600 pages, And yeah, it's gonna take me a hot minute. So I am gonna enjoy my book, and I will probably come back and let you guys know when I finish this book. So that'll be the next time you see me. Okay, so it is almost 1 o'clock in the morning on what is now May 9th, and I read the rest of Diary Bound. I kept getting to parts where I wanted to know what was going to happen next, and so I ended up just finishing it, and that ending was wild. Sorry if you can hear my dog. He says it's time for bedtime, and I agree. But first, I want to let you guys know that I gave Diary Bound by Sable Sorensen 4.5 stars. Now, here's the thing. I really enjoyed this book. I think it did very well, like, throughout the pacing and the plot, the world building, the characters, the relationships, the plot twist. You know, I think it did a good job doing all of that. It almost walked a fine line of, could this book have been shorter and still got the same message, the same feelings, the same stuff across better at the same time? And I feel like if I was doing like one of those reread, rewrite, and burn, it's one I would definitely rewrite, because I feel like there were some parts that dragged, but I also have to be mindful that a lot of these things were like helping us build the relationships, the characters, and wanting us to like root for them, and then also building up that world building, because what I had a problem with in Heart of Chaos was that there needed to be more. The author, it just felt like that author worked with this outline and didn't want to put any more into it, whereas this one put so much stuff into it. And I feel like if it would have just been edited just like a little bit more, this could have been the perfect book. But sadly, I'm just going to give it a 4.5. It's still a really good book. I don't know how I'm going to reread this book when it comes time for the other books when they come out. But I can tell you it's going to be really hard. And I'm probably not going to do it until hopefully there's at least an audiobook, because some of the stuff that happened will make it really hard to reread this book knowing it. And yeah, that's all I can say about it. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I pushed through and finished it. This book is so long, 610 pages according to my Kindle. But yeah, I did it. So that means I get to roll for my 4th pick. That's right. We're only on book number 4 now. We've only read 3 books for this episode, and we have to read 5. And I'm just so exhausted. Like, I was not going to bed till I finished this freaking book. And I did it. Now, I am going to say my next book has to be something with an audiobook, because my eyes are tired. My eyes get so tired anymore. And it's just easier to have an audiobook because I can do other things. And I really can't when I have to read with my eyeballs. So, we're going to roll. We're going to hope for something good. And let's hope we don't hit the go back spot again, because that is an option, unfortunately. Although, you think it shouldn't be if I'm covering up spots I've already hit. But unfortunately, I don't really have a book for that. So, it is what it is. So, I'm going to switch the view, and we're going to roll and see what I get. By the way, I believe my tripod's about to break one of these next times I use it, and I'm really sad about it, because I got this tripod once before, and it also did the same thing, and I'm really freaking angry about it, because I know I'm going to have to get a new one. I have another one that clips onto my desk, but I took my desk down, like, it was just like one of those folding tables, and I took it down, so it's kind of like useless right now, and yeah, I'm just not happy about it. So we might have some shaky things. I mean, I do have a taller one, so I mean, I can use that because it does shrink down quite a bit, but like this one was just really easy, so we will survive. Okay, so we are here. I just finished Diary Bound. Now remember, we get to skip over this one because I already read a book for it, so I can either get a graphic novel, we can go back again, which I don't want, a weapon on the cover, an intimidating book, a physical book, and a dark romance. So those are the 6 spots we could potentially get. I obviously do not want this one. I wouldn't mind a graphic novel because I do have a series that I really want to read again. And honestly, I don't want to get physical book yet because the one physical book I do have that I really want to read, it's not coming in the mail till Monday, so I don't want that either. So I guess anything else but, what would it be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So anything but 2 or 5. So let's figure out what it is. Please be nice to me. Give me a win. A 6. Okay, I'll take it. So let's move that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is a dark romance, and we made it over the first go back, so we don't have to worry about that one. But eventually, it probably won't be till, yeah, the next episode that I will have to try and get over this hump of the start over, because I really don't want to do that, but it could happen. So right now, I'm going to be trying to figure out what dark romance I want to read, and I probably will check back in with you guys tomorrow because my brain is melting and I need sleep. So talk to you in the morning. Okay, so last night I think I said that I finished Direbound on the 9th, and what I meant was the 10th. Like, I had my days all messed up, but granted it was pretty late last night. So I finished Direbound at 12:30 this morning on May 10th. And then we, of course, rolled and got dark romance. And for this one, I ended up reading the next book in the Perfectly Imperfect series. So I read Fractured Souls by Neva Altaj. I read the entire thing in one sitting. These don't take me long. I have the audiobooks for them. In this one, we're following Pavel and Asya. And Asya has been kidnapped by this guy and put into sex slavery, pretty much. And we follow her, and we do get some like on-page stuff happening, so read the trigger warnings if you're gonna read this series. Like, this one's probably the worst one I've read so far, like content wise, like the dark stuff anyway. I think that the author handled this really well. I love the main male character. I love the main female main character. I probably think this is my second favorite couple in this series. Of course, Sergey and Angelina are the top ones, but I mean, there's still more to come. So I ended up giving this one 4 stars. I think I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned the other one, but a lot of times these stories feel like they just need to be longer. There needs to be more like building up of things and like more action happening, and some of them you get that, some of you don't. And sometimes, like with Hidden Truths, which is Sergey and Angelina's, you kind of get like a good mix of them. But I'm gonna give this 4 stars. I don't know if I said last night, but I did put Direbound toward the Gym and Spa game, which is Hanging by a Thread, and I put this one for Path 2. I put Direbound for Path 2 with no people on the cover. And then for this one, Fractured Souls, it's like a book that has majority of your least favorite color, and mine's like my least favorite color on the covers are usually like gray or like brownish colors, like brownish orangey colors, and this one kind of has a mixture of both, so I'm counting it. So I only need a book for Path 4. Whether I get one or not, we'll see with this next roll. But that one is to have a 4-word title, and depending on what I roll, we'll decide if I get one like that or not. If not, then I might only be able to get to 3 of these games, which is fine. I have to tell myself it's just fun. It's fun in games. Like, it's not a competition. I mean, it kind of is, but like not a strict one. So I think we're gonna head right into our next roll. So I don't have the picture printed out for this yet because I wasn't completely sure if I was gonna get to this book or not, but so next we could hit, no wait, we're going down now. So we could either get Steal a Book, Sun, Moon, or Stars, or even Clouds on the cover, a mood read, a feed scroll, an older book, and something revolving around animals. So honestly, I really don't care which ones I get. I kind of sat down and like picked a couple books that could fit for some of these, but only one of them has a 4-word title, but I don't have the audiobook for it, and I don't think I'm gonna get it. So I'm not sure. I am starting to get a headache. I had a headache yesterday. I really pushed through to finish Diarbound, and I think it's the weather. The weather's just messing around with like my sinuses and allergies, and I'm starting to get a headache. I'm gonna take some Tylenol and take a break from reading and then probably start this book. But we're gonna get right into this one. I'm really excited. This is gonna be our last book then for this episode. We've had quite a few chunky books. So we've had The Butcher's Masquerade, which was like 700 pages, I believe so. And then we went down to Heart of Chaos, which was about 400 pages, back up to Diarbound, which was 610 pages, and then we went to Fractured Souls, which was like 250 pages, I think. So we're not doing too bad page-wise, and I'm really enjoying the books I'm reading. So yeah, I'm excited to see what I'm going to be landing on and picking next to read. Okay, so we are going to be going this way, and we will not be getting towards the start over till the next episode, so that's good. And we can't go back anymore because we're going this way, obviously. So, like I said, we're going to get one of these, and honestly, I don't care about what I get for any of them. Honestly, the one I don't want the most is probably this one, and maybe even this one. So not a 1 or a 5, but I can work with the rest. So please give me something that's not a 1 or a 5. A 6. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is the animal, revolves around some kind of animal, and I have just the perfect thing to go for this, and it was the most we could go, so we're getting really close to being in this bottom half, and yeah, but once we get past the start over, I'll be happy. But I was hoping this would take like 4 episodes at the most, so we'll see. This is going to be the last book for episode 2, and yeah, I'm just really excited. Okay, so I'm going to go and take a break from reading, and I will come back with an update on the book I've chosen and let you guys know how it's going. Okay, it's 8:15 p.m. on May 10th. I did start and finish my last book for something revolving around animals, and that was Crescent Kingdom by Tessa Hale. This is a very popcorny book. This author writes the very definition of popcorny books. You pick it up, you're not expecting too much, you're just wanting to have a good time. This is it. This author is for you. I ended up giving this one 4 stars just for the fact that her fantasy romances are pretty quick and to the point, and there's not always a lot of substance, but you're still having a good time. You still like the characters and like rooting for the romance anyway. So this one we're following Ren, and she's been on the run for most of her life, trying to get away and stay away from anyone who wants to do her harm, including her father and anyone else who may want to take advantage of her being part wolf and part caster. So she is a hybrid, and she ends up in this little town, and she ends up continually running into these multiple guys, and even one that she's met before, and they know that there's something different about her, and you know, eventually they do figure out like what's going on. But every book always ends with a cliffhanger unless it's the last book, but this one definitely hurt a little at the end, but I know that the next book will be the up and down again. But anyway, I gave this 4 stars. This was the final book for this episode. So I read The Butcher's Masquerade, Heart of Chaos, Diarbound, Fractured Souls, and Crescent Kingdom. And yeah, that is all I read this week. Also Crescent Kingdom, I couldn't count for the last prompt I needed to fulfill for the game for the Gym and Spa, which was a 4-word title, and Crescent Kingdom is only 2. So I counted it for the Dining Room, which is a book that matches your current outfit. And because I kind of have a theme going on with my thumbnails of like lots of purple, I decided to go with that, and Crescent Kingdom is very purple, so that's what I put that one in for. So with all that said, I am going to exit this video, roll for my next read for the next episode, and I think that's all I have to say. So, like this video down below if you liked it, comment letting me know if you guys are enjoying this series, and subscribe if you want to. I'd greatly appreciate it. And until my next video, I will see you guys again soon. Bye!